everybody. Welcome to episode 100 of the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. I'm your host, Gene Jackson, coming to you as always from the Retro Wrestling Archive here in beautiful Gadsden, Alabama. And of course, I've got producer Smokey behind the scenes doing all the hard work back there. And now, welcome my co-host. Let's meet him. Of course, the man who has been around from day one. We're on episode 100. There's been a couple episodes where he's had vacation or he's had stuff going on, but man, he's been here from the very beginning. You know him, you love him. It's Josh Briley of P3 Radio. Josh, what's up, man?
100, man. 100 of them. And maybe what, 96 of them I was there.
Yeah, like you've been around for the majority.
It's been a long, wild ride, but man, still having the same kind of fun as I was in the beginning. That's what I look forward to every Sunday. I get to talk old school wrestling, which is my favorite kind of wrestling. We were texting back and forth last night, and Richard was plugging us with or informing us of the WrestleMania happenings. We're like, okay, cool. You're
telling us to justify watching it, I guess, because we totally don't give a shit. But
I love coming every Sunday talking about this wrestling.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast, and I had every intention when we started this. We talked about it. Like, look, man, I want to just go down the freaking line. Like, we're going to jump back 91 and we'll go 92 and all on. But you always wonder, things happen, life gets in the way, and you think, well, hopefully so. But man, here we are, 100 episodes. We're almost all the way through 91, if you can believe that. And I'm fired up for when we get to 92, because 92 has a lot of fun stuff there as well. But before we get any further, we got to bring on our other co-host who, he was the pinch hitter, if you will, for the first season, 93, whenever Richard wasn't able to be there. He would fill in, but he was watching along with us. He was following along, and every week I'd hear from him and go, hey, man, I enjoyed this. And, I heard y'all's take on that, and I felt the same way. So when Richard became unavailable for the 91 season, it was just a natural fit that this guy would be the man to jump in there. And he's done it. He's filled the void, and it's been a lot of fun doing it. So here he is. He's the owner, founder, and president of stspod.club, and he's Jonesboro, Arkansas's baby boy. Spoiler alert, it's Brian Trammell. BT, 100 episodes.
Yeah. Awesome. And, coming back, Gene had reached out to me when he first got started. We've told this story a couple of times, but I said, who the hell is going to watch and listen to a podcast about 1993 USWA? And since it involved Richard and Josh, two of my favorite guys to listen to on P3 Radio, Josh mainly, but and Gene, I thought to myself, I don't remember a lot about 93. I had a lot going on, and so I started watching the show about 11 o'clock every Saturday morning as part of my routine, and then listening to y'all review it, and it just become part of it. And I'm so glad y'all got me to join for this, because I think I've done every show for the second season. No Richard, thank God.
There's been no.
Well, Richard's been here once, and he was nice enough to correct everything I said wrong. But just fun. I didn't think I would want to get up Sunday mornings and do this every Sunday, but it was one of those things where the wife goes to church and I got that hour, and I have such a good time with you two guys. So real quick, before we get started, I do want my sponsors is Jolly Royal Furniture and Spaghetti Warehouse. I had the shrimp Alfredo with extra cheese this week. And a big shout out to everybody that last Saturday we debuted the Power Pro. We went live stream with it. Thank you. That was Gene sent the numbers, and it just fantastic. Thank you again. Thank you to everybody listening to that and everybody listens to this. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And those numbers are continuing to go up. Like, people are still finding episode 1. So it's pretty cool. And, we're actually, I talked about this on the second episode of Power Pro. Like, one of the more fun things about doing this show and now the Power Pro show as well is like we get on here and we watch the show, we talk about it, we have our memories of it, we have our opinions on it. But a lot of the listeners, are cool enough to like reach out and send, private messages to some of us and, hey, here's what I thought, or, oh, it was funny when y'all said this, or, oh, I didn't remember this, but I did remember that, all those kinds of things. And I love that aspect of it. So we're going to try to get us like a Facebook group just for, I know we've got a USWA when it's just USWA stuff, but I want to do one just for the podcast. And it's going to be for all my podcasts, all BT's podcasts. And, we're going to encourage people to come in there. Tell us what you thought. What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? Would you have bought a ticket that week to go to the show? And
we'll be posted all, if you say, man, where's those episodes at? We're going to post them right there. There'll be a link to them. Yeah. What we talk about Podcast Catcher all the time to not miss anything. But if you just want to be on Facebook and watch us on Facebook, hey, we'll do that too. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. So just we've grown so much in these 100 episodes. My sound was terrible. I'm gonna show you some episode 1 later, folks. And I had like a $30 headset with a built-in microphone from Best Buy when we first started, and it sounded like ass.
That wasn't the one that I sent you, was it?
No.
Oh, that one died, didn't it?
That one died, and I bought this one. I'm like, because I think this one might have been a $40. I was like, all right,
man. Mine was a 19, so I was
so we went from 19 to 40. It was a bit of an upgrade, but I go back and listen to it now. I'm like, and I didn't used to be one of those people that kind of obsessed over like how things sounded, but now I've gotten a little better about that. All right, it's got to be good sound quality. But anyway, here we go. September 21st, 1991. Dave Brown is back. Thank God. Poor Michael St. John ain't out there trying to navigate all this craziness by himself. And they talk about, we're going to see Jerry Lawler in action. We're going to see Jeff Jarrett teaming up with superstar Bill Dundee, or at least we hope to. The Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony's going to be here. Eric Embry is back from Texas. He's in the studio. We're going to hear from him. And Billy Joe Travis has promised us another song this week. We'll have to see if he sticks with the George Strait theme that he's been going with so far, or if we stray off in another direction. But opening match, we're going to see the Dirty White Boy taking on the Scorpion. Dirty White Boy puts it on the Scorpion here, and he hits that. There's two people that I remember using the quote unquote reverse lariat where he knocks the guy down, go to the corner. Michael St. John mistakenly thought he was fixing to go for an elbow drop. I get it. That's what you would think. That's what Jimmy Valiant would do. But no, he's waiting for the dude to stand up facing the wrong direction so he can clothesline him to the back of the head. He goes down with him, kind of drives his head into the canvas. It's really a pretty cool finish. And the only other guy that I've seen use that, does anybody want to take a guess at who else used a reverse lariat as a finish?
Lynn didn't?
Nope.
I've seen it. I can't remember.
Outback Jack in the WWF, it was called the boomerang. He's Australian.
We talked about, was it last week we talked about Outback Jack?
I think so.
I don't know. Yeah,
it runs together so much. I think it was last week. Yeah, but Dirty White Boy, needless to say, had much better execution of his reverse lariat, aka clothesline to the back of the head, than old Outback Jack did. So, that was a good way to start the show. And then we're going to have...
Hold on, I'm sorry, but you talked about that squash. I think that's one of the nastiest backdrops ever that the Scorpion took. And Tony actually gave the Scorpion the very front of the match instead of just getting in there and beating the shit out of him. So I thought that was neat. They said the Scorpion was aggressive, which I thought was hilarious. But, Dirty White Boy, y'all, watch this man. He's so smooth. He's just so smooth. And he makes everything look so easy. You watch his matches, you think, I could be a professional wrestler. Well, look for BT Express on the YouTube. You'll find out. You can be, because maybe you can, but I can't. So there you go.
I found out a while back who the Scorpion was, and now I can't remember. I want to say it was like Ron Hutchison or something like that, or
I don't say. Ron Hutchison was, I think, shaped different.
Okay,
how would I know that? But yeah.
So, do you know who this is? The Scorpion?
Okay. I have no idea.
I'll look that up again. I don't know why that name sprang to mind, but that's who I was thinking it was. But So BT, you mentioned specifically last week when you were going through the Monday night card, or the results rather, that Meltzer had said specifically that Ronnie Gossett was no help to them in that match. Well, let's hear a little bit from Jeff Jarrett as he kind of alludes to that from last week's match.
Came up with Ronnie P. Gossett.
That's exactly what I'm out here to talk about. I was just talking to Dutch Mantel in the back about it. He was asking me, he said, where's Ronnie at today? Well, me and Robert decided, you know, my grandfather always told me, when you mess with a septic tank, you're going to get you-know-what on you. So that's why Ronnie Gossett's no longer with us, because me and Robert first decided we were going to fight fire with fire, but we found out as the match progressed in the six-man tag, that wasn't exactly, wasn't going to be the answer to our problem. But this week, it's going to be a little different story. Chris Love and your PYTs, we're not done with you by no means. Because me and Robert, we've gone out and we've found us a partner, and it's the guy that we should have chosen the first time around. And yeah, he used to wrestle, but he's not a wrestler anymore, but he sure does pack a mean punch. So Chris Love, this week on our side of the ring is going to be Eddie Marlin. And I can promise you one thing, when you want to step your little, I don't know what to say about you, when you want to step your little, you-know-what body in the ring, Eddie Marlin's got something for you, and I promise you, we're going to take you three guys out in the six-man tag.
All right, Jeff, Eddie Marlin's going to be in the corner.
Now, BT, you know, we've both been watching these Power Pro shows the last couple of weeks, and the glaring thing that stood out to me when I sat down to watch this September 91 episode of USWA is how quiet the studio is compared to the pandemonium that they had going on in 98. And so Jeff, you know, he tells us, he compares Ronnie P. Gossett to a septic tank, which I assumed you guys were.
I know Josh loved that. So there you go, Josh. There's another reference.
He said it as, I forgot who he said that, but like when you mess with a septic tank, you're going to get, you know what on you. You know, this Ronnie P. Gossett thing, you knew from the beginning it was going to have to be a short-term thing. I mean, because, yeah, it was amusing to me the first time. Oh, okay, it was kind of amusing the second week, but like Josh pointed out, it was very redundant. But if you'd have gone on past this, it wouldn't have worked. So I don't know if it was by design, if they're like, all right, you're going to come in for a couple of weeks. We'll get a couple of ha-ha promos out of you. We'll let you do a couple of splashes, and then you can fuck off back to wherever you were. I don't know if it was that, or if Ronnie P. Gossett was there for 2 weeks, he pulled some sort of shenanigans and they fired him, or he just didn't show up, or what. But you can tell, I think anyway, by this promo, that line from Jarrett compared him to a septic tank. However he left, probably was under good terms and probably didn't go down exactly the way they wanted it to. Do you guys get that impression?
I just thought maybe it was temporary, you know, like because they needed it to do what they had to do for Chris. I love when they call him Chris Love, because in my head it was just Christopher or Honey. But yeah, I love the Chris Love thing, and yeah, it was just there to kind of counteract him for a time. But yeah, I'm not mad that he's gone. I'll say that.
But you know, the thing that really struck me right here is Jarrett is building up towards, and he announces they got the 6-man tag team partner they should have had to start with, Eddie Marlin.
That's right. Heard the big boss man, Eddie Marlin.
Pin drop. It was fucking dense. It got nothing. Like, and it gets worse than that later. I won't spoil it here, but
you know, every once in a while, you mentioned the crowd. Every once in a while, I'll say something about, man, that crowd was hot, and it'll be doing get buck and blah blah blah. But you're right. I think Power Pro had used some of the newer technology or whatever. The current Memphis wrestling is loud too. They say it's like 100 times louder if you're there, kind of thing. So am I going to be the spoiler and tell where Jarrett really fucked up on this promo? You may go ahead and tell y'all.
Yeah, I saved it for you.
Did you? All right. First of all, this might have been one of his worst promos. That robe, oh my God! Please make an action
figure. Code of many post-it notes, as I call it.
I do not ever buy action figures, but I will buy that one if he makes one. He said he was talking to who backstage? Dutch Mantel, and everybody from that point on's got to pretend they didn't hear him say that and be surprised that Dutch Mantell walked out. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, I had to rewind it. I said, wait, y'all don't know if Dutch is here or not? Yeah, he's here. Jeff said he was here at the very beginning, and I thought maybe I just imagined it. But, yeah, he fucked the whole little storyline there.
Yeah,
going
because we go so far as to, this is another spoiler, but it's not, it doesn't matter. We go so far as to air another video of Dutch.
Yeah.
To imply that he's definitely not here. But Jeff's already told us he's here. And then when he does come out after we play the video, oh my God, Dutch is here. You know, like, damn it, Jeff. But dude, like, if I commissioned somebody like, hey, make me a ring jacket, and that's what they brought me, I would still be punching them in the face right now. I would have never wore it the very first time on TV, but maybe if I was in a pinch and I just had to wear it once, I'd wear it once. He's wearing this in 91. I'm assuming he's going to wear it all through 92. He definitely was still wearing it in 93 when we did 93. Like, he wore the shit out of this thing, and this is the god-awful, ugly. I can only assume that either they've completely screwed up or Jeff's like, I want a coat. Like, if you took 5,000 of those freaking little Post-it notes and just stuck them on a coat of all different colors, that's what I want. And then that's the only way that if that's what he said, that when they showed up, Jeff's like, freaking
what is
nailed
that?
it.
What is
Love
that
it.
play? Y'all might be more refined than me. There's the color of coats or the coat of many colors or what?
It's a Dolly Parton song.
I only know it as a Dolly Parton song.
There's a play with that too, and I'm just thinking to myself, that's what he did. He went into the maker, said, "Hey, you know that song? This is what I want right here." So,
Hey Samantha, you vaguely look like Dolly Parton on a rough night. Why don't you sing that for us? Coat of many colors, Daddy made for me.
Don't talk about my girl like that.
That's the quickest way to get BT to fight. Well, not
That's
the quickest.
Right. Talk about Jimmy Valiant. Dan.
I don't even know what that means exactly. So get this, Josh. We're after all that Jimmy Valiant talk the last 2 weeks. This week we're at the end of the Power Pro show. They go, and next week, handsome Jimmy Valiant will be here. I'm like, God damn it, we can't get away from this. Dude.
Ironically, I watched him coming out to the Power Pro thing this morning.
Oh, right on.
For whatever reason, I watched it. It's great.
Can't wait.
So then Eric Embry comes out. Dave Brown points out that he went to Texas and now he's back. Let's hear a little bit of this promo and see him have a squash match here real quick, and we'll come back.
Big match coming up, isn't it?
Yes, there is a big match coming up. And, yeah, I think I know another reason you're upset with Eddie Marlin is because the match is already signed.
I'm upset. I don't like it.
You're going to have to defend the Southern Heavyweight title against the wrestler of Eddie Marlin's choice.
Yeah. What a grin you got on your face. I got to defend the Southern Heavyweight title against Eddie Marlin's choice. Well, Eddie Marlin, that kind of boggles my mind, man. Who's it gonna be, Marlin? Is it gonna be Jerry Lawler? No. Lawler, you're afraid of me. Is it gonna be Robert Fuller? No. Because Robert Fuller, you're hiding behind Jeff Jarrett. And Jeff Jarrett, you know I'm gonna shave your head. Maybe it'll be Dundee. Maybe it'll be Eddie Gilbert. I hope so, because I'll beat your brains out. You know, who's it gonna be? Boogie Woogie Man, it ain't gonna be him. Who's it gonna be? I don't care who it's gonna be, because I'm the greatest Southern Heavyweight champion that's ever wore that title. Do you understand it?
I understand what you're saying, but I've got a question for you. You weren't here last week. I understand you were in Texas looking for Tom Prichard. Yeah. How did that work out? Huh?
Yeah, another little grin on your face. Yeah, Tom Prichard.
Tom Prichard.
No. Now, Eddie Marlin, you couldn't pull that off. Now, I told you, Eddie Marlin couldn't have Tom Prichard. No. Hey, Prichard, me and you got to talk, man. I couldn't find you last Saturday night. But me and you got to talk. He couldn't have Prichard. No. Give me somebody in the ring to beat up.
We'll get somebody in the ring. We'll get you an opponent. Something for you to keep in mind, though, as this match has been signed, Southern Heavyweight title against the wrestler of Eddie Marlin's choice. I don't know.
I don't know. Look at your face, man. You love it. Why, Eddie Marlin? I don't care who it is. You think Eddie Marlin? No. Now that old fossil's too senile, too stupid. Now you ain't that stupid for it to be you, Eddie Marlin. I don't know who you got, but whoever it is, they in for the Texas whooping of their life, just like this jabroni's going to get right now, Dave Brown.
To kind of, in his own mind, get even with Eddie.
Yelling Texas again. Bulldog DDTs him into the middle of the mat. Dowdy down, roll over now, cover, 2, and he pulled him up again. Come on.
Oh, this is ridiculous. You know, I almost wish we could write a rule that the referee could determine that the 3 count would have fallen and stopped the match there. Of course, you can't do it because that could end up penalizing somebody who does break out at the last
Almost
second.
a TKO rule. 1, 2, 3. This time he's going to stay right there and get the victory. 1, 2, 3.
So I have a fun thing I like to do where when I watch the show the first time, you know, I'll watch the match and then I'll clip it. But when I'm watching the clip on the show in these segments, I will watch Tojo the entire time to see what he's doing. And so if you're watching Tojo in the background, first of all, I'm upset he didn't have his cowboy hat on. But he's waving the flag, and every so often he'd point at the flag and go, do the number number 1. And then at one point during the match, whenever Eric was going to pile drive Dowdy, he jabbed Paul Neighbors in the ass with his flagpole.
I saw that.
So really the only reason I included this promo, because these we all like Eric Embry and we've liked a lot of what he's done, but these promos are starting to feel a little repetitious in some ways. But I really like, we pointed out, I think Brian's the one actually pointed out the detail of Tom Prichard's in Japan right now.
Right.
And so during this time in Japan, we've established that he's you know, Eric don't know where he's at. He's trying to get him to meet up in Texas. Dave points out, you know, hey, how'd that go? Well, he missed his meeting. But there's this situation where Eddie Marlin's going to be able to pick Eric Embry's opponent, and he's hollering, he's all wound up, and then in one brief moment he stops and goes, he couldn't have got Tom Prichard, could he? Wait a minute. No. I love the way they're teasing this Tom Prichard Eric Embry issue these last 2 or 3 weeks. They're keeping Tom's name on TV while he's away. He's still being a part of the story, and we can kind of tell now, like, all right, when he gets back, we're fixing to see Prichard and Embry go at it. But I don't know. I just like that subtle detail, because sometimes, like we say, and especially in '93, I know you remember this, Josh. It's like it felt like there was no attention to detail. Like we were just shit just happened, and you know, like it would have been like, all right, so Tom's going to be away for 2 or 3 weeks. We won't mention him. He's not here, and then it's all of a sudden he's going to show up and have an issue with Eric, and then that's just going to come out of nowhere. But no, here we're planting the seeds. We're kind of establishing it. What did you guys think of this overall?
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, Uncle Danny's going to be gone. Everybody knows that he's gone. So that's explaining that. Tom's going with him. How the fuck do we? And I guarantee you it was Eric. Well, let's do it like this, or, you know, and just the way that they're doing it is keeping Tom's name alive in like an super interesting way, because I truly don't remember what happens when he gets back. I'm anxious. Maybe they will buddy up for a few weeks. But I don't know, because I truly can't remember. But man, the little shit, and I know it has to be Eric Embry, because you know it seems like even Lawler, he's got this one mindset, and that's how the things roll out. But yeah, I love the way that they're doing this.
Yeah, we talked about this from episode 1 of this season, and being such a fan of Eric Embry's booking and wondering at one point, why didn't everyone just love his booking? Because we liked it. But these little tidbits, little Easter eggs, if you will, that he does to keep stuff going is just so interesting, because you don't see that when he's not around. Put it that way. You don't see that he's keeping Tom Prichard. We want to know what the hell happened to Tom Prichard, and why is he not showing up to talk to Eric Embry? Because I mean, they just had a one little connection there. There must be something going on, but where's he at, kind of thing. So I like that. I really do.
I have younger people, like younger wrestlers, and just fans that will ask me like, "Hey, Gene, I hear people talk about wrestling psychology. What does psychology even mean?" And that's a broad subject. But this is an example of somebody like Eric Embry's psychology, because he starts naming off the people that Eddie Marlin could potentially put against him. Jeff Jarrett, ha ha ha. He laughs off Jarrett. He laughs off Lawler. He laughs off Eddie himself. He laughs off Eddie Gilbert showing back up. He laughs off that it could be Dutch Mantel. And then he goes, Tom Prichard. Oh, you don't think it'd be Tom Prichard? This fear, this panic comes over his face. And that's putting Tom Prichard over. That's psychology, because in the fans' mind that are following along, they're like, oh, he's nervous about it. Could be Tom Prichard. Oh, he thinks Tom Prichard can whip his ass.
Yeah, what happened?
I didn't really think much of Tom Prichard, but Eric Embry's scared of his ass. Oh shit! I hope he comes back. It's putting a bit of in the fans' minds, like, oh shit! He don't care about none of these other guys, but he's scared of Tom Prichard. Oh, Tom Prichard comes back and whoops his ass, and now that can work in two ways. Tom Prichard comes back, he wants to whoop his ass. Tom Prichard's a babyface. Tom Prichard comes back, people want to see him whip Embry's ass, but he gives Embry a big hug. Hey, sorry man, I've been out of town. Now he's got more heat, but either way, it's helping Tom Prichard while he's
right. We're not going to forget about Tom Prichard, so that's a cool thing.
Good stuff. So then I didn't clip this one, but we go to Dirty Dutch is back in the Stan Hansen call center, which looks like somebody's garage.
His
garage, I'm sure.
Probably.
You got the phone there with the note taped to it, Stan Hansen hotline. And so he gets a phone call. It's not Stan Hansen, but then he gets a letter that he thought would be about the whereabouts of Stan Hansen, but it's not. But he can tell by the way this letter's written and some of the terminology he's using that this was a wrestler that wrote this. This wasn't just anybody. This was a wrestler screwing with him. And so I wish he would have gave an example of a line in the letter that kind of gave away it's a wrestler. But I don't know. What did you guys think of this? And what line could you guys read in the letter that would tell you for sure, oh, that's a wrestler?
Oh, if he said something like he mentioned like a Fernum, or he talked Carney and shit, like that's a dead giveaway. But he didn't say anything. He just left this mystery behind it, like, and I like that because it's almost like Tom Prichard's. What the fuck did that letter say?
Yeah,
and it's got some personal stuff about me too. And he's refusing to read it, and it looked like it was written on like a hotel stationery or some shit. Like it wasn't this big full-page letter. But yeah, I thought it was great. He was still leaning into the Stan Hansen stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like the gold or what you perceive to be gold in Pulp Fiction, the briefcase.
Yeah.
What is in that briefcase? That's how it was with the letter.
Yeah, I liked it too. See, what would a wrestler put in there? Maybe a fee or something. I sent this to you. Now you owe me, or something like that. I don't know. Or like Josh said, maybe he's talking Carney to Dutch. Dutch knows for sure it is a wrestler at that point. So
yeah, dear Dutch, kayfabe this letter, but don't tell.
Yeah.
So this is interesting because if they just come out there and just said, hey, there's going to be a match with Dutch Mantel and Eric Embry for the title, you'd be like, well, that's random. These guys haven't crossed paths. But now Eric's come out there and he's potentially going to have to fight some random person that Eddie Marlin is going to put in front of him. So he's got shit to yell about because he's got established issues with Eddie Marlin. And now Dutch has gotten this letter that he don't know who it's from. So now, like, all right, well, I want to see who Eric Embry's going to fight. And, oh, shit, somebody sent Dutch a letter. Well, I want to see who he's going to fight. And we'll see if these two paths intersect at some point later in the show. Because Embry comes running out after this video where he's talking about this anonymous letter. And for whatever random reason, Embry feels called to come out there and run Dutch down. He's a fake Texan. He didn't write the letter. why are you accusing him of writing a letter? Like, nobody accused you of writing a letter, Embry. What's going on? So he started shit talking Mantell pretty heavily, and eventually we go away from that. And we talk about the Mid-South Fair, and there's going to be a tournament. There's no Coliseum show, but there's going to be matches during the fair. People who win their matches one night of the fair will then advance to the next night of the fair. And so that brings Jerry Lawler out.
Oh, God.
He talks about the fair tournament. He talks about charity softball games. He talks about a Nashville celebrity charity event where he was on a team with Ernest P. Worrell as a Dave was the one to name drop. He said Jim Varney. It was Dave who said Ernest P. Worrell. And
that's right. That's right.
He's like, hey, that's a big deal. And then he introduces the Kappa Alpha softball team who's in the house today, who I think can account for some of the strange fan reactions we get throughout the show. And then he hypes up a match he's got coming here on television. And this kind of harkens back to something we talked about a little while ago. He mentions he has a match against Freezer Thompson. And when you hear that, you're like, why the fuck is Jerry Lawler wrestling Freezer Thompson? Like, and why is he talking about it? Because, I mean, it's not like like Eric Embry, like, hey, I got a match with Dave Dowdy here in a minute, hoping it turns out well. But this is an example of one of those things where I'm guessing maybe somebody didn't show up, or Lawler's just looking around the dressing room going like, who can I wrestle? Oh, Freezer's over there. We ain't gonna make him wrestle. Okay. All right. Well, I can make something out of that. And it's where Lawler just kind of makes something out of nothing here. And we'll see where that leads here in a minute. But it's just weird watching it through the first time, like, Lawler's wrestling Freezer Thompson and he's promoting it more or less in this segment. Like, what the hell? Needless to say, I didn't clip that. In 93, a lot of times these segments were kind of amusing to me. But by this point, it's like, how many times can we listen to Lawler promote fucking softball and
that fucking shirt too? I don't know who the fuck's dressing him the last couple of weeks. God dang, come on. And that just, guys, I didn't even hear him talking about Freezer. I had to fast forward and get past this bullshit of him saying Richard. I pulled a Richard of him saying he's going to be at Bubba's Barbecue to taste the new barbecue sauce or some bullshit that he's going to talk about. So sick of those interviews of Lawler talking about his appearances. And if I was the boss and I could talk about my appearances on live television and everybody was watching, I'd be doing it too. But damn, I just fast forwarded. I did the Richard, as they say.
Lawler struck a nerve. Like, this is.
I'm sorry. 2 weeks in a row, I wanted to punch Lawler. So
it was the over-the-top celebrity field cast of teams in Nashville that pushed you over the edge. You're like, they better not have no fucking Garth. Then ask Garth Brooks. God damn it.
No damn George Strait. Fuck you. George Strait ain't gonna play no damn softball with you, Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler once personally insulted BT on an episode of the Gossett Wrestling News show, and he was less offended than he was by this promo that had nothing to do with him.
I think I was. Yeah,
him in his goddamn superstar Billy Graham shirt. Like, he was just so ate up about it.
Yeah, he needed to promote the thrift store he got that freaking shirt from. That's what he could have
This
done.
is 2 weeks in a row. He's everyone who's dressing him needs to change what they're doing. So
Dave, I'm gonna be at the Goodwill out on Mount Moriah. As a matter of fact, that's where this shirt came from. From the celebrity golf tournament 2 years ago.
At all. So
so then Billy Joe Travis comes out. He's got his guitar. I'm so glad they addressed this because, again, I'm a nerd about like gear and things like that. We've talked about how different ones of us look at that stuff. I know Richard kind of pays attention to that, like when he was on the show. And so the first thing I noticed is like, the fuck's Billy Travis wearing Eric Embry shit out here for? And Dave even points out, like, I think we've seen Eric Embry wearing this. And Billy Joe, without missing a beat, goes, yeah, this was a gift. He gave me these. We're from Texas or whatever. So let's hear what Billy Joe has to sing and say today as he's getting prepared to sing The Eyes of Texas in his very own special way.
You'll pass on the song today if you don't. Yeah, well, no, I've seen Eric Embry wear that sort of thing.
Wait a minute, my good friend, Eric Embry, he gave me this as a gift because I am a true Texan, and I'd like to dedicate this song to him.
Please don't sing the song.
Hey, Do not interrupt me. All right. Here we go. Hold the microphone still. The eyes of Texas are upon me all the live long day. The eyes of Texas are upon me, just passing time away. How you like that, Dave?
I'm not sure, but what you got a couple of songs mixed together there, Billy Joe.
What do you mean?
The words are not exactly right, I don't think.
The words are right. The eyes.
Well, the eyes of Texas are upon you, first of all.
That's what I said, me, right?
Well, okay. Well, you got. Is that it? Is that all the words you know?
Sing again.
Well, no, I don't. I just prefer you wouldn't sing anymore at all.
Hey, Dave Brown, I'm going to expose you right now. You've been off a week. I know where you've been setting up brides at all these fairs around here. Am I right or wrong? And I'm not going to sing anymore for you, so you shut up.
I can't hear it.
The eyes of Texas are upon me.
Yeah. He's not real strong on lyrics, vocals, or guitar. Other than that, he's fine.
Chris Frazier is ready to get this match underway.
Wow! My goodness!
Holy cow, did you see that?
Yeah.
Right across the face, he nailed Chris Frazier.
Interrupts me, and if you do, I'm going to bust your head, punk!
Hey,
What a guitar shot for poor Chris Frazier.
hey, talk about going back in time. I went back in time and I said, Billy, look, I was in the dressing room once with Chris Frazier, and he wore a mask the whole time trying to kayfabe everybody in the dressing room who he was. Man, will you do me a favor? I got you, brother. I got you. Bam! There we go. So.
It may have been because he didn't remember who he was after that guitar shot here in 91.
That's possible. That's
God.
possible.
As bad as that guitar shot on Jimmy Valiant was, this one, it sopped it up like a biscuit and took a little more as well. That was
Yes.
great. And, I
agree.
give shit to Chris Frazier about not being able to sell. He can't even get his ass whipped right. I've used the line that,
Yeah.
but oh my God, it was almost like it was real because he felt like he was
might have
dead.
been. So, yeah, there we go. A little
I
bit
kind
of
of
a
feel like
shizu.
Jeff pulled his old tag team partner Billy aside and was like, "Hey, that was the weakest. I know it's Jimmy Valiant and he's 107 years old, but Jesus Christ, dude, that was the lamest guitar shot that's ever happened on a television show." And Billy's like, "All right, Jeffrey, I got you." Because he clocked, who was it he hit after that the following week? Was it Lawler? He busted over Lawler. Of course, Lawler no-sells it, and you heard my rant about that.
Yeah.
But then this week, Chris Frazier got it even worse.
Loved it.
was
Loved it.
tremendous.
Thank you, Billy Joe.
He told Billy Joe, he's like, "I'm gonna do what the King did." I got you. Don't
I'm
worry.
gonna fire up on you. Okay, yeah, you do that, pal. But my favorite part of this is, so if you don't recognize that song, folks, anybody who ever watched Walker, Texas Ranger, that's the theme song. And so Billy's not at all, he as they did point out specifically, he's singing The Eyes of Texas to the tune of I've Been Working on the Railroad. But instead of saying the eyes of Texas are upon you, he says the eyes of Texas are upon me. Dave Brown points it out, and he said, "No, you said the eyes of Texas are upon you." And he said, "Yeah, I said me."
Yeah.
Dave could
Good
even argue
stuff.
that. But
Good
the minute
stuff.
he started screwing the lyrics up, you see Michael St. John, the radio guy in the background, and like his ears immediately poked up. Like, he knows music, damn it. You might get him on some wrestling stuff. By God, freaking Michael St. John knows when you're fucking a song up. But
That's right, damn it.
Fun segment right there. So now, much to everyone's surprise, except Jeff Jarrett,
Oh my God, it's here. He's here.
Dutch Mantell appears out of thin air.
Where's he been?
Let's take a look at a little bit of his exchange here with the flamboyant one.
No, wait.
Let me ask you this.
If I was
If you
afraid
did-
of you, I'd write you letter. But see, I didn't write no letter.
Well, what'd you come out here for?
Because
I don't
you
see
started-
Jerry Law out here. I don't see Jeff Jarrett. I don't see none of those other guys back there. I just see you out here.
So why are you out here talking about a letter if you didn't write it? Sounds like a guilty conscience to me.
I ain't got no guilty conscience.
I'm gonna tell you.
Dave Brown was out here saying, I did this, I did that. He don't like me. All these idiots over here, they don't like me. But deep down inside, they all liars. They know I didn't say I wrote no letter. Now, me and you's from Texas, and I've been here beating everybody's brains out, taking over this place, and about to run Lawler down for a title shot if he'll ever give me one. Now, what I'm saying is me and you, we could form an alliance, man, because the blood that runs through our veins is Texas blood. We're just like brothers, Dutch. If we went together, there ain't nobody that could stop us. Nobody could stop us.
Well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do about it?
You're too busy out looking for Stan Hansen, ain't you?
Hey, that's my own personal business.
Why didn't write? Okay, hey, real simple, okay? Real simple. You're from Texas, and I'm from Texas. Now, we got that point, okay?
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah. Now, real simple. You can see the floor right there? You make a line, Dutch Mantell. If you stay over there, you just like all these other Tennessee people that you've been living up here with for a few years. You know, they're starting to rub off on you a little bit, Dutch. You're starting to talk like them. You're starting to act like them. You're even starting to look like them a little bit. But
You're saying I look like people from around here? Well, that's fine with me, because these are my people. These are my people right here. You got that Jap over there thinking he's a Texan.
he's an honorary Texan, he is.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Well, real simple. Okay, there's the line.
Okay, there's the line.
Either you stay over there and you're with them, and you're my enemy, or you cross that line and you're with me. If you ain't with me, you're against me.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. If you want to put it that way, if we're drawing lines in
That's
this...
the way I put it.
Come on. Make your move.
If you so much as ever lay one finger on me again, Dutch Mantell, even though you are from Texas.
What? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Come on, make your move.
You're making me move.
I've got something to tell you.
Tojo with that flag, nails Dutch from behind.
There's Embry going right. Look at this.
Now Embry with a flag, jabbed him right in the rib cage. Eric Embry takes the Texas flag from Tojo. 2 against 1 here. These guys are something else. Oh, look out. Embry picking up Dutch's hat.
Holy cow, Dave, we gotta get some order restored here.
Yeah, we're gonna...
Embry going after Dutch.
Look out. Oh, here comes Tony Anthony, Freezer Thompson, and Jeff Jarrett. And there go Eric Embry and Tojo Yamamoto.
Dutch out there in his gray camo, looking like the third bushwhacker of that new outfit he's got on there. This is just like classic Memphis stuff where you got the two guys that are getting ready to wrestle out there just inches from each other, just having a debate on the microphone. And no real reason why they hadn't already started fighting before this, but, you know, it took Eric finally, Tojo, I should say, in his green sport coat that matches just the exact same, like Eddie Marlin has a coat just like that.
Looks like the Masters jacket is what it reminds me of. If you know anything about golf, I don't know much, but I do know the Masters jacket's a big deal.
I wonder if they're both big golf fans or they just think that's a cool color.
By the way, I learned on a documentary that the bowlers have a championship. They give away a jacket exactly like the Masters jacket. So there you go. So they take that shit serious, and the bowlers do. So
I could see Tojo bowling before I see him playing golf. So maybe that's what he was going for there.
Maybe he did. Maybe he won that on the bowling circuit. Y'all don't know that.
All right. So we saw the build up earlier, the announcement of Eddie Marlin's going to be able to pick an opponent, which he hasn't done yet. We'll get to that momentarily. And then we saw the mystery letter from Dutch. What'd you guys think about this segment?
I think Tojo, I mean, he laid that flagpole in. Like, You heard Dutch make this faint little whenever he fell. That's because it hurt so fucking bad. Like that microphone was so far away from where he hit him in the back of the neck. I think it even rolled up on the back of his head. That's a bad place to get hit, especially when you're not looking. But yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I don't know if they had a pep talk before this show or what. It's like, don't look like there's a lot of us here today. So we're going to have to lay this shit in and really get this show over the top. And, buddy, Billy Joe, Travis, Tojo, they are obliging. Laying shit in.
That's what I liked about all this. I kept writing as I was watching this. Jarrett broke kayfabe. Crowd was loud for this, guys. The crowd was noisy. I thought it went a little too long, but I then just absolutely loved the Tojo shot. I would have loved to talk to Dutch when he came through the dressing room for that one. By what the hell, kind of thing. I was in Jonesboro one night. Dutch wrestled Kevin Von Erich. Kevin had I took pictures of Kevin. He informed me he had pink eye in both eyes. Wink, wink. I'm serious. He did say that. Highs, I don't know what. Dutch said he hit him like 4 or 5 times for real. And Dutch just rolled out of the ring, got a hold of him and all that. But, yeah, Kevin had hit him so hard, and he was bitching because his head was still ringing after the match. So, yeah, that's probably what happened on this one, too. Like Josh said, I mean, if you're going to get a punch, you kind of see the guy fixing to punch you. You're going to sell kind of thing. If you're just standing there minding your own business, Tojo whacked the shit out of him with that flagpole. I thought it too. I'm with you, Josh. I heard him go, oh. So, yeah, that was legit. That was shoot, motherfuckers.
Pictures, BT. I told him I got pink eye in both eyes.
Yeah, he did. I'm serious. I've got a picture of him on my newsletter. I was doing a little bitty tape trading newsletter at the time, and the picture is him. I said, "Can I get some photos?" And he said, "Yeah, I don't care. He said, "I just want you to know I got pink eye." And I was like, and Dutch said, "Pink eye my ass." So,
not only do I believe it, I believe that he believed it.
Yes, he probably did. He forgot about everything he smoked or took.
As far as the crowd reaction, yes, once all hell broke loose, they started to react. But I did feel bad for Dutch when they did the spot where he says, "You say I look like these people. Well, that makes me happy because I'm just like these people. They're my people. These are my people." Got fucking nothing.
Right.
The crowd should have popped right there. It got nothing. I was like, damn it, folks. Don't leave Dutch hanging like that. It made him look an asshole. And the other thing about as far as the shot from Tojo, I would like to think Billy Travis's sense of humor being what it was, as I'm told, that right before they walked out, Billy's like, "Bet you can't hit Dutch as hard with that flag as I hit that jobber with that damn guitar a minute ago, Tojo. You ain't got a hair on your balls if you don't break that flagpole over Dutch's back."
I want to tell you,
Yeah,
he did all kinds of fun stuff like that. But I want to tell you, they got him back one night in Jonesboro. Apparently, he was bugging the shit out of them the whole time riding to Jonesboro. So when he got in the ring, and I can't remember who he was wrestling, but it was him and Jarrett to get somebody. Every time they would send him into the ropes, they would slap him as hard as they could on the back. They would go, wham, and it sent him in. He finally pulled out of the ring and got under the ring and said, "I don't want no more. I don't want no more." You can do that at spot shows, but they did all kinds of stuff like that. But Billy his whole back was just, somebody whooped the shit out of him. I can't remember who that was, but they whooped the shit out of him.
So speaking of crowd reactions, let's hear the roar of approval that Eddie Marlin gets when he cuts his promo, right?
Big boss. Here, Eddie.
That's right, Dave. I've been back here listening, and there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that Eric Embry is the man that wrote that letter.
Well, it sure seems like it.
He just hadn't got guts enough to admit it. And also what I seen out here just now convinces me that Dirty Dutch Mantell is the man that can handle Eric Embry. Eric Embry has been around here causing a lot of problems, and Dirty...
And here he comes. Here he comes. Yeah, watch yourself.
I ain't come to fight. I've come to talk to you about
Oh, look at
Eric!
Eric, come on!
Hey, let's get some help for Eddie out here.
Eddie, look at him.
Ah, come on.
With his shoes.
Come on, Embry.
Embry
Here
out
comes
there.
Jeff. Oh, look out. Billy Travis tackles Jeff as he's coming out to help Eddie. Come on, Embry, you're choking him. You're choking him. Come on.
Get him up. Come on, Eric. Well, we got action in the ring, but we got to get some help for Eddie
Here
Marlin.
comes Tony Anthony. Yeah, that gets rid of Embry. Loosen that tie and that shirt collar there, Jeff. There you go. All right.
Had him choked.
He was choked. I think it's okay, though. Let's, Eddie's being helped to his feet by Jeff and Tony Anthony.
Eric Embry sucker punched him.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, he sure did sucker punch him, and then what he did, he grabbed his tie and he tightened up that knot and then wrapped it around his throat. He was choking him with it.
Attention to him.
Eddie seems to be all right.
Okay, a couple of reasons I want to show that clip. Number one, so we were just talking about how there maybe had been an edict like, hey, we're low on wrestlers. We got to lay this shit in, make it look good. Embry, the first shot looked okay. The kicks looked fucking awful. Like they weren't even close to touching him. He threw a couple of punches that clearly did not connect. But then he's choking the shit out of him with that tie because his face turns as red as the background on this screen right here. I'm like, I think he rather would have been punched and kicked than get choked to his own tie. So that was the first thing. The next thing is they start chanting, na 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 na, hey, hey, goodbye, as they're carrying the poor bastard out. And then they all of a sudden start cheering, and you think, okay, well, they're doing the right thing. Now they're cheering because Lawler came through the curtain. They're just shitting on Eddie Marlin. I don't know how Eddie Marlin got heat with this crowd, but they did not like. They didn't give any reaction when he got announced as a partner, and now they're making fun of him. Maybe he's being carted out after being choked. And my one other takeaway, I'm gonna hand it over to y'all, is I felt like as he's laying down on the ground there choking, that Michael St. John was like, "You got to throw your arms up over your head. And you're not doing it right, Eddie."
Just sit there and play dead, and then they'll stop. That's
with your head, arms over your head, and lay there like a limp dish rag. That's how you do it. What do you guys think about this?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, as you pointed out, Eddie Marlin's face turned red as a tomato. So that indicates to me that Embry was laying the choke in.
I'm gonna get this son of a bitch about me. Yeah, I loved it too. Yeah, and then I like the part where Jarrett comes out and Travis tackles him. I want to make a point. Travis makes one more appearance today, and I want to make a point about that appearance. But also, I think Billy Joe and Jeff were tag teaming somewhere together because the gear could have been tag team champions again. So. But the crowd popped for Jeff Jarrett when he came out. But yeah, they didn't know. They talked about they had some visitors. I think maybe you had a certain section of the fans that had never seen professional wrestling, had no idea who Eddie Marlin was. I think Jeff made a point, and I'm going to say something about this because he made a point in that promo talking about Eddie. We got Eddie Marlin as our partner. He may not be a good wrestler, but he's got a hell of a punch. And I think it's funny that we've all put that over, and I loved watching. I thought the first punch looked good, but then him choking him, I was like, damn, Eddie's fixing to go. This is done. So
those kicks looked as bad. When you see this clip in a little bit from the first show, the kicks that Embry gave Eddie Marlin are as bad as the ones Mike Samples gave Bill Dundee in the very first episode of 93.
That's a callback. That's a callback, Gene.
There you go. So, yeah, what a segment there. And I tell you something that impressed me, and it's something we've talked about on both seasons, is there's times where attacks happen out there And there's no logical reason why somebody isn't out there putting a stop to it. We know they're back there. Where the fuck are they? Well, this is Jeff Jarrett's grandfather. So we know Jeff Jarrett's got to come save him. As soon as shit breaks down, like, where's Jeff? Billy Travis was like, I mean, the way he cut him off at the pass right there at that ring post, Jeff did have to grab the ring post to slow himself down just to give him a split second. But then when Billy got there, he took him right down. It looked believable that he cut Jeff off before he could get to save Grandpa. So that aspect of it was pretty cool as far as I was concerned. So now here we are, the big match. Jerry Lawler versus Freezer Thompson, and it's surprisingly competitive. This reminded me of like on WCW, or I guess Jim Crockett Promotions more so at the time, when like George South, Mike Jackson would get beat like government mules, as Jim Ross would say, week in and week out, and then one of them would wrestle Flair, and Flair would do all his signature spots. He'd flip in the corner, he'd get slammed off the turnbuckle. And then you would think, God bless, George South's finna freaking beat Ric Flair, and they'd have like a 10-minute match. Well, here, Freezer Thompson, who's been beat like a drum, Awesome Kong, whipped his ass like 2 or 3 times, body slammed him. Well, here's Lawler, the champ, is having some trouble with old Freezer Thompson, but it doesn't hurt anybody. It's, but it's funny because they're making very sure to make it plain and clear. Freezer Thompson's not a bad guy. They basically all but come out of the curtain holding hands. They got in the ring together at the same time on the same side of the ring, shook hands at the beginning, shook hands at the end. It never really got heated or anything. So I don't know. To me, it was fun because this was more interesting to watch than for Lawler just to beat up the Scorpion or beat up, Dave Dowdy or whoever the fuck. I don't know. What did you guys think about Jerry Lawler versus Freezer Thompson here on TV in '91?
Well, I liked it because of just the way you're saying that they portrayed it. I mean, like, they didn't paint Freezer as a bad guy. They actually painted him as somebody. They emphasized that a lot of times he's in tag team situations and not the one taking the pin. So they're trying to build him up. And I like that because, we've said before, Freezer, big guy, agile as fuck. You could tell by the way he moves in the ring, like he can work with small guys, big guys. It don't matter. He moves like he's a lighter fella. So, yeah, I love how they didn't bury him. They let him get some shit in on Lawler. And at the end of the match, shook hands, walked to the back, patting each other on the back. You don't usually see that on any wrestling. And the fact that it happened here, and maybe they are trying to do something with Freezer.
I liked it. I'm, new Freezer, and saw him at many shows. He worked for me a couple of times. He was one of those guys that if he worked my show and I said, "What do you want to do?" He said, "It's up to you." I said, "Well, you're going over, you're working this guy, y'all do it." I didn't have to do anything else. I didn't have to go over a finish. I didn't have to go over nothing. I knew Freezer had been doing it for a long time. Why tell him exactly what I wanted, kind of thing. I thought it was kind of neat to see Lawler not pull down his strap and do the whole, taking the heat and everything, and just win it easily. But Freezer did get stuff in. So, yeah, I like this match. I like what they did. We probably won't see this anything out of it, unfortunately, but yeah.
I mean, Freezer's been around since like 86 on TV because his name, Freezer Thompson, was the takeoff of his resemblance to the refrigerator pair of the Chicago Bears Super Bowl team that year and everything. So it's really surprising they didn't do more with him out of the gate. I'm thinking because in the time they brought him in, based on his look, he wasn't experienced enough to really be able to do anything more than what they were doing with him. I think I've mentioned before, but I only met him one time. I got to wrestle him as Memphis Monroe at a dirt bike track.
Yeah, you told me about
that. And man, I sat back there and talked to him all afternoon before the match and after the match, and was asking him stories about wrestling on TV and in the studio. And God, Freezer wrestled everybody who was anybody that came through Memphis, at least on the heel side of things. He worked with them, and man, he had some really great stories. And he's somebody that somebody should have got on a podcast at some point.
You're right.
To him because man, he had a wealth of knowledge and stories to share. So yeah, this was a cool thing. And so we get the handshake at the end. We go and we promote the shows coming up, and Boonville, Clarksdale, Somerville, blah, blah, blah. Jarrett comes out and promotes it. He's going to be in Boonville, and he's going to be signing autographs that afternoon. And now we're getting ready for the main event as Jarrett's going to be teaming up with Bill Dundee against the PYTs. Now, I'm curious, did Bert and the PYTs, were they late getting there? Because we did not see Bert through this entire show. Like this show in particular is probably one of the only shows that Bert was in the studio that we saw this little and heard this little from Christopher Love or Bert Prentice throughout any of the years that we've watched him. And to me, that's disappointing because he's always fun. But I thought, man, they must just not be here, or maybe the PYTs are here and Bert's not here. But here they come. He's there. He's got his robe on and he's ready. But for whatever reason, Bill Dundee, not here. So the main event here, expiration of time match, Jeff's going to have to go it alone. And he does that for the first fall. Towards the end, Jeff's getting double teamed. Everyone said, here comes Dutch. But Dutch doesn't come alone. He's got Shoe Baby, the bullwhip, with him that we haven't seen much of since he's been back. And he starts lighting up the PYTs, the FATs, as Gossett was calling them, and they get the heck out of there so that when we come back for the second fall, we've decided that Dutch can now take Bill Dundee's place and be Jarrett's partner. I don't know why. Logically, I don't know why somebody would be like, hey, there's other guys back there. If we can just plug another guy in, let's let Dutch or somebody team. Well, hell, get Freezer back out here. No, he's pretty blowed up, man. He can't do back-to-back matches. But anyway, so second fall, we've got Dutch and Jeff taking on the PYTs, and they get a quick backslide win from Jarrett, and Jarrett and Dutch are the winners of the main event. Dutch calls out Embry and says that he's the one that wrote the letter, and he says he's going to whip 50 pounds off of Eric Embry when they meet up at the fair. The old Shoe Baby. Yeah, I always preferred Dutch to have, as a kid, that was one of the attractions of Dutch, was him having that whip out there. And you knew it was a real whip because you could hear the sumbitch crack. So you knew it wasn't some phony bullshit wrestling stuff. But I don't know. What do you guys think of this whole expiration of time main event and this promo from Dutch at the end?
Oh, I loved it because, yeah, that's one thing that I have missed. I got disappointed whenever he didn't have it this first go around when he showed back up. I was like, he's worried about Stan Hansen. Where's fucking Shoe Baby? Yeah, I love he brought it back in the time of need, and then he put Shoe Baby over in the promo afterwards. She's got me through a lot of whatever he said, a lot of bad situations, like it's a gun or something. But yeah. I thought in the way that the match ended too, just that simple backslide, but it's almost like it was a spot show or some shit because it was real hot there at the end and just boom, real quick, 1, 2, 3 out of there. Let Dutch do the promo and go on home.
Yeah, PYT's looking good. They got brand new gear. Did y'all notice that? I think they got it the same place that Bert gets his robes. They got new robes too. They had robes. They was looking good now. What I wanted to make a note of is Travis changed and put long pants on. So he knew he was going to get whipped by Shoe Baby. He wasn't going to take it bare legs. So he was smart about that. I liked the match, but I didn't like them. I mean, if you're going to keep pushing the PYTs, why make them lose on TV when you don't have to? I was real picky about that, but yeah. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. I love it, but Dutch just grabbing them off the ring apron and start fighting. So,
but to be fair, in their defense, if the match would have ended in some kind of DQ, me and Josh would have bitched about they never have a clean finish. We're like, we can't please those guys on that podcast.
I probably would have bitched about it.
Somebody's going to bitch no matter what. So, so yeah, so there you have it. That's this week's show. And again, there is no Monday night card, but we're going to take a quick podcast commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about least favorite and favorite parts, and then we're on episode 100. We're going to go back to episode 1 of this podcast when we were covering 1993 and take a look at some highlights. But first, quick break.
If you love old school wrestling, the Retro Wrestling Archive Patreon is where the real treasure is. Get early access to all your favorite Retro Wrestling Archive podcasts and articles before they hit the public feed. Unlock exclusive Patreon-only shows, watch-along videos, and bonus content you won't find anywhere else. And coming soon, the Retro Wrestling Archive Google Drive is expanding in a big way with even more classic wrestling footage, rare media, and archival material for true wrestling history fans. If you're serious about preserving the history of the territories, this is where you belong. Join the Retro Wrestling Archive Patreon today and step inside the archive.
Hey guys, Ray Russell here. Lots of new stuff happening here at WrestleCopia. If you haven't checked out our website at WrestleCopia.com, it's a great way to keep up with the latest episodes of all of your favorite Copia programming, from the Wrestling Memory Grenade to Regional Wrestling with the Territory Talk, the Wrestling Stoop with the legendary Bob Roop, and of course, all of those programs also available at your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Copia world, all the latest news, random thoughts, fun videos, pictures, and more, make sure to join the more than 33,000 followers over at Facebook.com/Wrestling Grenade. Don't be left out. And last but definitely not least, it's what keeps the entire machine going. I'm talking about Patreon.com/WrestleCopia. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia Podcast Network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Chic, Jarrett, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise, this team does it all. And all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Tired of the same boring wrestling podcast? Need something with attitude, chaos, and maybe just a little cussing? That's stspod.club, and we got it all covered. We've got wrestling weirdness with WTF News Desk, 5-minute time limit, and the Southern fried brain of me, BT, stirring the whole ship. We also have rolling into Memphis every week about the current Memphis wrestling. Interviews, hot takes, and wrestling outrageousness so wild it might get you banned in 12 states. That's right, it's SDSpod.club, or search all podcast catchers for Shooting the Shiznit, where wrestling podcasts grow chest hair. Not sure what that meant. Love my mama.
All right, guys, this feels weird. Right now, I'm used to playing Dave going over the card for Monday night, but we don't have a card for Monday night. So,
would I go to the fair? Yes.
Hell yeah, me too, Josh. I was just fixing to say that. We always went to Mid-South Fair. They got wrestling there too this year. Let's go.
Damn it. Yes, y'all didn't go in order. We got to build up to the.
I'm sorry.
When you go to the fair. I mean, yeah, I'm there for the funnel cake. I don't even care about who wrote the.
We went
letter.
with the school. The school took us every year, so you had to have a certain class or something. I can't remember what it was, but you got to go with the school in a school bus, which was always.
Did everybody, or just like you and your class?
No, it was everybody. Everybody got to go. Yeah.
How big was that bus they took you to the fair on?
Oh, it's not. We had a very, very small school.
I bet it was a really short school bus.
Maybe mine was. My mama told me I was special. I got to ride the little.
How did those windows taste, BT?
Didn't like.
All right. So what was your least favorite part
joke,
of this week's show? Oh dear God! Well, it's never stopped you before, but
least
favorite part of the show.
It's being super picky, but it was like there was only just a few people there. I don't know if if they were off. I mean, I know some of them are in Japan, but not everybody. Everybody didn't go to Japan. Yeah. So it just seemed like even during like the save situations, there's like 2 people out there. I don't know. It was slim pickings, like it was a holiday weekend or something. But
I would have loved to have seen I didn't have the results for Nashville, but I would have loved to see who all traveled to Nashville to work. Because I wrote, they kept saying Dundee's the partner, and I wrote Dundee said, "Fuck this shit." It was him, Samantha, and Bull, and we didn't see them, like you said, slim pickings. But my most disliked or hated part, y'all know what it is? That fucking shirt that Jerry Lawler was watching, wearing, and all that shit he read, all that, I'm going to be at the barbecue place. So yeah, that's my least favorite part.
I have a theory about the slim pickings here on the show.
Oh, okay.
So we talked about on this show and other Memphis shows that I do. It's pretty common knowledge that you didn't get paid for TV.
Right.
Like, so I guess the way they sold guys on coming to TV is like, hey, come to TV because you got to promote what's going on Monday night. If Monday night doesn't draw, you can't get mad when you don't make good money because your ass didn't come to TV to help promote it.
Right.
So I'm guessing maybe a lot of guys' theories, if they weren't part of them, tournament matches on Monday night, they're like, nah, I'm going to sit this one out, So we know Eric Embry and Dutch were on the card, because of the letter versus Eddie Marlin's pick, all that bullshit. So I'm guessing these are the guys who are probably going to be in action at least that first night of the fair.
And Fuller didn't show up either. Fuller was another big name, so no Fuller.
No mention of Fuller, honestly. But so yeah, I'm guessing that has something to do with it. That's purely speculation. I don't know. There could have been
You're probably right. Yeah.
A September snowstorm or something. Who knows?
Why show up?
But yeah. My least, it's ironic because, he's been a favorite in different times. My least favorite thing was there was too much fucking Eric Embry on this show.
Yeah, there was,
It just gets redundant after a while. It's just like, all right, dude, we've heard this. We've seen you scratch your head like you got lice and holler in Dave Brown's face. Like, just go away. Most favorite part of this show?
Well, kind of piggybacking off of your hate, I do like that Eric Embry was a part of it. More than usual because we got, some good brawling out of it. We wouldn't have seen the flagpole shot from Tojo. We wouldn't have seen him and Dutch go at it. We wouldn't have seen all of that. And Eric Embry, like so good with the little tidbits, with the Tom Prichard stuff. He's working multiple angles here, and it's there isn't anybody there, so he has to go out, and I think it's better off him being that guy than Lawler, because who knows how many more softball games we'd have figured out that he had over the next few weeks.
Be the sports hall in Blytheville, Arkansas. We also
at least Eric Embry was out there doing wrestling.
There you go. I'm going to go with my favorite parts was the actual flagpole shot and him choking Marlin. That was those 2 spots were really. Did y'all notice that Dutch also got fleas when he first went out there? He started messing with his hair. So man, they need to check on Channel 5. There's some fleas there.
A lice outbreak in the dressing room there in TV5. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, is he mocking Embry or is he just really scratching his head here?
Yeah.
My favorite part was the Billy Joe Travis segment, the singing, the guitar over the head of Chris Frazier, and then coming back to yell at Dave and Michael St. John. But I did, as far as from a psychological standpoint, I loved what Embry did with Tom Prichard in his promo. But overall, I don't know. I'm getting to be where I'm pretty partial to anybody who just whips the shit out of Chris Frazier. They're get a big thumbs up for me.
I love Josh said, boy, can't even take an ass whooping. Golly, can't even do that right. Hey, just really quick, we had the name of Eddie Gilbert mentioned since I'm not doing Mid-South Coliseum results. They were in Philadelphia that night. Eddie was on 9/21, drawing 1,800 people for a Joe Goodhart show. And Eddie got on the microphone, and Cactus Jack had just signed with WCW. He was going to wrestle Cactus, and he said that Cactus sold out by going to WCW and told him to give Jim Hurt a message, kiss my ass. And the fans started chanting Jim Hurt sucks. ended up having Blackhearts against Gilbert and Jack. Joined forces to go against them in the finale, which was a cage that was set up. So good deal.
Wow. I think that might be the show that was supposed to have had Doug and Bam Bam Bigelow in a match. I may be wrong on that. That may have been the show before, but yes, that was a very Eddie Gilbert thing to do, to go out.
Yes, very much so.
Good promo on Jim.
He mentioned Eddie, and I was like, I wouldn't go tell about the results, but it was in the Observer here and there, and then I said, oh, I'm gonna go back and grab it since he did mention Eddie.
Good call. Well, all right. Well, right now, like I said, we're on episode 100, and I just really didn't realize how firmly we established what this show was going to be and kind of the feel for it. But let's go back to episode 1. We're going to go right to the very beginning, where I intro the show. I intro Josh and Richard, and they kind of tell us a little bit about themselves and their connection to Memphis. And then we're just going to kind of go along through the show through some different fun things. This is about a nearly 10-minute clip, but I think it's fun. And I actually, watching this made me want to go back and watch some of the 93 episodes we did. So I probably will soon. Hopefully it does the same for you, but let's check this out right now. And then we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Retro Wrestling Review Podcast, where we watch and review old school retro pro wrestling. First project will be USWA Championship Wrestling from 1993. I'm your host, Gene Jackson, and I want to welcome my esteemed co-host. You may know him from P3 Radio, Richard Mulliken and Josh Briley. Guys, how are you doing today?
Hey, doing great. This is weird being on video. I'm trying not to look at myself.
Yeah, and everybody will see me reading the format here, so that's kind of weird all the way around. But we're trying something new, as far as how we're doing this. Old school wrestling is not new to any of us. I just want to say on the front end here,
Yep. So I grew up with professional wrestling on every Saturday. We would watch Memphis. We would watch everything to the point where I got into the business, when I got old enough to wrestle. So 18 years old, I was in the crew of guys that was on the CW30 with Memphis Wrestling. So met a lot of guys there. So a lot of these people were also in my life because of Josh. Who Josh can tell his side of the story, but we were pretty much raised with Memphis Wrestling, like kind of in our DNA.
Yeah, man. So my uncle is Nightmare Danny Davis. And so a lot of times, I grew up a lot, like Richard was my grandmother's neighbor. So, a lot of times my uncle, he would come, because we live in Jackson, Tennessee, which is the midway point between Memphis and Nashville. So a lot of times he would stop in, on the road or whatever, and Cody Michaels might be with him, or Joey Maggs might be with him, or just name whoever, and they might be with him. And my granny, she made gear for a lot of guys. So always having wrestlers over and stuff, always wrestling, always playing wrestling.
Yeah.
It's always been there.
It was always cool to look over across the street and see, like, talking to my grandmother, I'm like, that's Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett just got out of that car.
Match was so heated, you would think that we're setting up for his week run out, his week-long run leaving the territory was going to be against me, Mike Miller, but turns out it's not. So the Masters of Terror, they are Ken Wayne and Ken Raper. Unfortunate pairing of names. Anyway,
Right.
Jarrett throws Dundee down on the floor. Oh, come on, stop this. Got him up in the air, dropping him with a pile driver on the floor. Mike Samples egging him on. Master of Terror has him up in the air again for the second time. He drops Dundee with a pile driver. Samples over with a boot to the back. Master of Terror continues to work on him. Mike Samples.
Okay, so this is where I feel like this is a good time to state this disclaimer.
Yeah.
So we talked about at the beginning of the show what big fans of Memphis wrestling and wrestling in general we are. And so, we're here to do a podcast because, we want to go back and because I feel like this is kind of an ignored era. There's tons of podcasts about Memphis wrestling from the 80s. I'm even involved in one about 85, but there's not a lot of talk about the 90s. there's going to be some times, not everything in Memphis wrestling was great all the way back into the 80s. I mean, there's stuff going on in 85 that me and Ray Russell are watching, and I'm like, well, I don't remember this being better than this. So we're not here to dunk on Memphis wrestling. If people are going to get upset, at times we're going to have some fun with some things, and these two pile drivers are probably going to be a couple of those things because, now we watched Bill just take 2 on the concrete floor and then followed up by some stomps that couldn't have been their proudest moment either.
Right.
What do you guys take on that? Am I being too harsh? What's your thoughts?
No, I feel like whenever you see somebody give a pile driver and they put their hand down to catch themselves, because concrete's hard to take a butt bump on. I don't know if you know that, but I felt like more it would probably hurt the Master of Terror more than it did Bill. From all that weight coming down. But it's like you said, like you look at this and you, as a kid, or when I was younger and I saw this, I was like, okay, they attacked him. It wasn't the fact that he was, brutally beaten or anything like it. Was just, okay, he got attacked. But yeah, like you said, it was, looking back at it, it's like,
But it does help though that the pile drivers were kind of gingerly given, and like even as a kid, you could see that and say, well, maybe that's why what's going to happen in the future is going to happen.
He didn't get all of it. He didn't get all of it.
Me and you, I got a little date with you. Look out, Dave. Look out.
Mike Miller throwing a chair at Lawler.
Can I say that? Could we trust anyone to throw a chair in the strike zone as good as Mike Miller did just then? He was like 30 feet away and he flung that chair and it perfectly hit Lawler.
Like he'd done it before.
Like he had thrown chairs his entire life. He is the Nolan Ryan of chair throwing. You would think a guy with a messed up face would not be able to throw a chair like that.
But he's squinting out of that one eye and he's just dead eye.
Like I remember like watching this back and hearing Lawler go, "Watch out, Dave." And I'm like, what is he talking about? That's how long it took for that chair to get there. That's how accurate Mike Miller is throwing a chair. He's like Uncle Rico. He's like, what do you think I could throw a chair over those mountains over there? And he would, and he'd hit Lawler right in the face with it.
Snaps him down, covers. This might be it. 1, 2. It is it. And the Southern champion has just...
I wish somebody would have gave the bounty hunter your grandmother's number to get some gear made. Holy.
He looked like a cat burglar.
Yeah. They just go through. It's like, well, here's a Brinks commercial. Let's get that guy off of here. Bring him in.
I told him it looked like our dummy that we made to practice on.
We had a wrestling dummy when we were kids made of like a ski mask, a shirt, some pants, and we had shoes on it, but kept knocking the shit out of ourselves with the shoes. But yeah, it looked like our dummy come to life.
Yeah, and who knew he eventually got signed to the USWA. And
But let me tell you something, young lady. I'll call you a lady whether you are or not. If you lay one hand on me, if you're in the ring when I'm in there, I won't hit you with my fist, but I hope you took a good look at Zeke Rivers, because I'll snatch every bit of that red hair out of your head, and your head will look like his, and then I'll turn you over my knee, and I'll spank you, little girl, just like your mother and daddy should have done years ago. Now, I said I wouldn't hit a lady, but I will definitely pull that hair out, and I will definitely spank her.
Speaking of things that don't age well.
Wow.
I love that.
Eddie Marlin, who's teaming with that man, Bubba Johnson. He won't punch a woman. He's better than that. But he will snatch her bald, and he will spank her, and he will pull that hair.
That's the old Southern mentality, though. My grandmother, she used to have this thing she would tell us, and she always dipped a snuff. So she always talked like this right here, because she always had snuff in her mouth. And she would just tell us, say, Richard Lee. My middle name's Lee, by the way. I was going to say, I always got crap from my uncles because I hated Richard Lee so much, and they would call me that. I'm not run the Moondogs. But she'd say, Richard Lee, I'm going to tell you something. There ain't nothing sorrier than when a man puts his hands on a woman. But when a woman puts her hands on a man, she has put herself in the place of a man, and she should be treated as such. And I was like, my grandmother's telling me to beat up a woman if she hits me. Like, this is the weirdest thing ever. But that's that Southern mentality. It's like, I'm not going to hit you, but if you hit me, you're now a man.
Me and my little brother got into an argument with our parents at the dinner table one time because my dad's like, "You never hit a woman," and I go, "Unless they hit you first." And my brother's like, "Yeah." He's like, "No matter what, you never hit a woman." And my brother goes, "Unless they hit you first." No, and we went back and forth like that for a half hour almost. But I've always been in that mentality, like, I don't believe in hitting a woman, but I believe if a woman's dumb enough to hit you, fair game.
What if she's got a gun on you or something? You know,
yeah, that's another podcast.
It can't hit you. Yeah,
we won't go down that rabbit hole.
Memories, the good old days when Richard Mulligan was here with us.
Hey, I think I've officially did more episodes than him.
Yeah, I think that's probably true because, I mean, he did that whole season, but he did have to miss a few throughout the course of the time. But who's counting? I mean,
I'm not counting.
That's not a contest.
I did more than Richard.
Yeah, he's not counting, but he can say he did more. But I don't know, man. When this thing started, Josh, we didn't have a production meeting. Like, I just kind of, we kind of was texting back and forth, and I kind of told you guys what I kind of thought the show could be and what I knew you guys would bring to the table. And I really didn't think it would come together that quickly, and I really didn't remember that it did. I thought, well, like every podcast, it's going to take several episodes before and I'm not saying we had our complete rhythm and our timing, everything right out of the gate, but I think people could watch even that first one and go, oh, okay, so that's what it is. They put over some of the stuff, they make fun of some of the silly shit, and like I said, man, there was some silly shit in that first episode for us to have some fun with. What do you remember about that? And after that first show, were you and Richard like, all right, I think this is gonna work, or were y'all like, yeah, we'll probably do about 6 of these and Gene will get bored?
I was extremely nervous because, I do P3 radio every week, but it's, it is what it is. It's not serious at all. It's the most relaxed, off the cuff type shit that it gets. And it's extremely dark humor. And, I can just be a heathen and not feel bad about it. But like, I felt like, because I knew that there was going to be a little bit of jokes and stuff, but I didn't know initially how comfortable. I know you're a comedian. I mean, I get that, but the way this show was, at least in my head, supposed to go, it was more serious and just about the product and what we thought rather than trying to have fun. And we did have a lot of fun there on that first episode. So me and Richard were kind of not too sure if that was okay, but it did. But like I said, after the first one, it was so fun doing it because it was serious at points, and we took it seriously, but we had so much fun with the jokes, but we didn't try to just super bury anybody. So it was all in good fun. But yeah, after that point, I was looking forward to doing it because it just, like I said, we have fun on P3 radio, but it's different when you're getting to have fun with something like, old school Memphis wrestling. And that was,
and you guys aren't on video too, which is
right. So yeah, that was a different element as well. I didn't even think about that part, but yeah, that may have added to a lot of the nervousness as well.
You could probably see it in that highlight video, but if you guys will go back and watch episode 1, Josh is exactly right, because that was my big takeaway when I first started watching it last night. I was like, Josh looks so rigid right now. Like, you're sitting up straight and you're dead eye at the camera there. And then I'm like, hey, Josh, tell us about your connection to wrestling. Like, my Uncle Danny's a wrestler, and it was all pretty, just straightforward,
But
I'm watching you guys.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And where things loosened up is when I said, yeah, you got the Masters of Terror. I said, which are Ken Wayne and Kid Raper, which is an unfortunate pairing of names. And both of y'all laugh real, and like you see almost like this relief wash over y'all's face, like, oh, this is it. Okay. And then based on my reaction to a couple other things, by the end of it, you guys have completely loosened up and it feels like a different show. And that's kind of where it stayed from there. Sorry to cut you off, BT. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's one of those things where when you first start streaming, you worry about what's going on over there on that camera, but then you eventually it's not even there. You expect it to be there and you don't do it. I jumped on, first episode, you told me what you're doing and then with P3 Radio joining you and listen to every P3 Radio episode there has been and keep doing it every week. I jumped on the first week and listened and thought it was funny, thought it was the right amount of humor and I just really enjoyed going back watching stuff that I never watched really. I may have fast forwarded a lot of that stuff back in the day because I had too much stuff going on in my real life. But yeah, I jumped on episode 1. And then that was a cool thing that I could be the pinch hitter and jump in and help y'all when it was time. I just had to make notes. So,
I mean, because there's shows like this that go back and watch old wrestling, even stuff that's got sillier stuff than USWA does at different times, and guys treat it like they're talking about war stories or like American history or something, and they take it real serious and it's not funny. There's nothing to laugh at, and they try to sell you on the seriousness of silly shit like what we saw with Dundee in there and all that. And, my thing was like, I want this to feel like if you got together with a few of your buddies and was going back watching this old stuff, how would you react?
That's exactly what P3 Radio is too. That's why I like it so much. It's two guys have been friends forever. And I get to have a conversation with them every week. I've told them that many times, but that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, and I think that's gotten across because that's what a lot of people like. There's so many regulars, and that's why I want to get this group to where we can all kind of get together and talk about it. Because a lot of these folks, man, they're funny. They've got some really hot takes and funny takes, and every once in a while somebody hit me with something that none of us even thought of. Like, that's great, dude. Like, I wish you'd been there to say that type thing. But man, to hear people message me like, man, I look forward to that coming out every week. Like, it's just like hanging out with some, like I've gotten to know y'all through the show. And that's always fun too, is like when somebody starts messaging and you can tell by the way they're talking to you, they feel like they know you.
Yeah.
And you don't know them, but that doesn't offend me. I think it's cool, but it is just kind of funny. Like shows like this, doing it weekly, doing it consistently, it draws you in, and people like, oh, okay. After a while, people are like, oh, I know what Josh is going to say about that. Oh, I know how BT is going to feel about it, and then Gene's going to be the one to shit on it or whatever the fuck it may be. That's fun, and like, there's been shows for me, over the years where I look forward to it, and I'm like, man, this week sucks. I can't wait till I can watch this, whatever it was, whether it was wrestling or just straight up comedy or whatever. And I've had people tell me that this show is that for them, and man, that makes it all worth it. If it wasn't but 5 people watching this thing and, one of them felt that way, well, then this is all worth it.
Because we're doing it every Sunday. We've only had one Sunday off or 2 Sundays off, but we put out stuff. But yeah, we're doing it every Sunday, and it is good to get feedback. Even with, I put the hot mics on my Patreon. I don't actually put this show on my feed, but I put the hot mics. I get 2 or 3. I don't have a huge Patreon as big as yours, but I get 2 or 3 comments every week about hot mics.
Yeah.
There's something that somebody says, and I'm just like, all right, I get it. Y'all like that. So yeah.
The most shocking thing to me, I've got one patron in particular, and there's 2, but one who the first one was to say this to me. He's like, hey, no offense, but I don't listen to the USWA show just because, like, I'm from Pennsylvania. I didn't watch Memphis wrestling. It's really not my thing. I've tried to get into it. I can't get into it. He's like, but I'll listen to hot mics every freaking week. Like, it's hilarious. He goes, and then when y'all are joking about Memphis stuff, that's fine. He said, because, it's all funny and relatable, even if I don't necessarily even know who the character is or whatever. He's like,
right.
But I've always thought, like, I can't believe there are people who listen to hot mics who don't listen to this show. I mean, more power to you. I hope there's a bunch more before it's all said and done. But that is strange to me. Like, do you guys find that kind of hard to believe?
Yes and no. I mean, because like, the wrestling is the substance, but I know what you're talking about. It feels just like getting together with some friends and talking about wrestling, and that's not necessarily what's going on Hot Mic. So, but it's still that's still the same feeling.
Yeah.
With you're getting together, having fun, saying jokes, this and that. We'll talk about wrestling, then we might talk about action figures or a comedian or whatever. It's more broad. So I could see where do people like him would jump on and just.
I have, like I said, I don't have the number that you do, but I can guess. I would have to go look, but I'd guess 90 to 95% of my Patreons actually listen to Hot Mics, because I'll get comments through the week. Was that true? Or I think you shouldn't have told that story, kind of thing. It's like, yeah.
Surprised you don't get that every week, dude. Like,
I'm surprised I don't either.
Or at least for a stretch there, whenever.
Yeah, I was telling story of the week. Yeah, there's a couple of. I've only edited one thing out of Hot Mic, so that's pretty good, I think.
Back when
out of hours.
Yeah. It was. I
was going to say you edited me and Richard out of your own Patreon.
Yeah, I had to do. Richard Richard was the first person I had to edit something out of a podcast, because he was talking about my butthole with Manscaped. So
every now and again, with me and Josh and Richard, we would get to talking about something. And maybe afterwards, like, Richard would message me and go, "Hey, you think we ought to cut that one thing out?" Probably. Or I get to talking too frankly about, like, conversations I have with other podcaster. I won't say who. You can probably figure who this would be that I would feel the need to cut it out. But I'd get to talking to them about some behind the scenes things about one of my other podcasts. And afterwards, I'm like, yeah, they probably wouldn't like me telling that. I need to cut that out. And it would be a pretty rough, like, we'd be going along in conversation, and all of a sudden you see the flash on the screen, and then we're talking about action figures or whatever. Just, you can obviously something got cut out of there. But I was like, man, those guys are never going to see this show. But if somebody told them about it, I can just hear the one person comment, "Gene, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you talking about stuff that we talked about on your show?" So.
Yeah. By the way, just for the record, that Phil Hickerson story I told a few weeks back allegedly happened. So there you go. How
did you like the title that
I love that? Yes.
I would like to claim I made that up, but I didn't. That was
that's awesome.
Oh, CPT. All right. Well, there we go, guys. And speaking of, it's time to switch over to Hot Mics right now. So
you put our stuff over first. You want me to put my stuff over?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. All right, here we go. Hold on.
All right. We're ready. Every day, Shiznit Minute, talking about the current wrestling scene. Been doing it for 3 years, rolling into Memphis this past week. A couple of really fun matches on that show. A 5-minute time limit came out Tuesday. We talked about WrestleMania, and I finally put out WTF News Desk, and Gene was on vacation during that. This coming week, we have 10-10-10, our 9th annual. Can you believe that? 9th annual 10-10-10 Mania Moments episode, if I ever get a chance to watch it. Then we have P3 Radio. I got a chance to listen to it yesterday morning. I care 4 out of 5 hoots. Good episode, Josh. Episode 454, My Flying Machine, was the title of it. Thrifty Nipple. Thrifty Nipple is a new strip club going to happen somewhere there in Jackson, and it's going to be real cheap. You can get a lap dance for $5. Is what I'm hearing. Weird dick jokes. Interesting sign story from Richard. Nah, it wasn't interesting. Talk of gray hair. Sperm stains, I'm going to say. I'd be nice about that. I thought they were going to fight about Carmen Sandiego and the role of Carmen Sandiego. There wasn't a detective or was a detective. And then they made one of the funniest references that Josh said he had muscles in both hands when he was a kid because he was having to hold the J.C. Penney catalog in the left hand while he took care of business. We talked about sex toys. Richard needs to never make fun of me for messing up words if you listen to this episode. That was it.
So Jackson being such as it is, I'm gonna have to listen to the episode to figure out if thrifty nipple is a real thing or not. Because in Jackson, that very well could be a real thing, or it could just be something y'all made up.
That might have been just something I made up.
It will be.
Real?
We got a business plan on.
Oh, you guys
Radio,
are opening. Okay, all right.
But
well,
I don't know how it's gonna roll. But
I love the thing that the million bees, that just really troubled Richard. That how do they know it's a million? Did they count a million? I was cracking up, and then that 911 call with the guy in the airplane was really good too. And Richard then kayfabe somebody's name on Facebook that might be your friend. It was hilarious. He's so secretive. I just love it. Hey, it's this guy. It's this guy. Don't say it. So yeah, good stuff.
Go.
Good show. Good show.
That's what's happening at STSpod.club as well as P3 Radio over on RetroWrestlingArchive.club. This week we've got part 2 of my interview with Kurt Beyer, the son of the Destroyer, Dick Beyer.
You said Dick.
I have a guy. Well, that's BT's nickname's Dick Beyer. But that's a whole other.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a fun interview. Very interesting. Kurt has a extraordinarily interesting story to tell about traveling the world with his father, growing up in Japan, and just probably one of my favorite interviews I've ever done for wrestling. So check that out if you don't mind. And of course, Rob has got his Beyond Wrestling show. The first episode was Tommy Rich, and it did really well. Tommy had a great time on that show, and Rip Rogers came on and did the second one, which came out this past week. If you hadn't listened to it yet, give that a listen. Boy, Rip Rogers is something else, and he really liked the format of the show because Rob doesn't ask them wrestling questions. They talk about everything but wrestling. And wrestlers are lining up to do this because apparently wrestlers love to talk about anything but freaking wrestling.
I haven't got a chance to watch it, but did he get the egg question in on
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. God, I hope so.
Yeah, I'm so behind on podcasts. I don't even see the ones on my network until usually 2 weeks later if I get a chance in. So no, I haven't seen it. Some of these I sit in and produce. That one I wasn't able to. But he's got 2 or 3 more in the works that it's going to be kind of shocking for people. Some of the people he's getting like right out of the gate here for this show. So check that out. Of course, the new Power Pro show that debuted last week. We got episode 2 came out this past Saturday. Make sure you check that out with me, BT, and Rob. We're going to try to get Josh on there. Whenever he has a standing invitation anytime he wants to come on to please come on and do that. But get a lot of great feedback on that show, BT. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
And a few other things in the works. So make sure you check out RetroWrestlingArchive.club. Of course, you can join the Patreon at patreon.com/RetroWrestlingArchive. And you can also join BT's at patreon.com/Shootin'Shiznit. Yes, we do share some exclusive Patreon content, but there's a ton on both that is exclusive to each one, and neither one is expensive. There's no reason why you can't get both. So there you have it. That is all the plugs. That is everything about this week's episode of USWA. This is the 100th episode of the USWA podcast, and we ain't going nowhere, folks. I know there's a couple people sent me messages like, hey, man, are you replacing USWA with Power Pro? No, dude, we're not. We're going to keep doing 91, and we're going to roll right into 92 when it comes time. So I'm more than capable of doing both, as is BT. So that's it, and we will see you next week. Join the Patreon. Either one, you can catch hot mics and hear what insanity BT is going to hit us with this week. He's been kind of low key recently, so I feel like today he's going to like drop a bomb on us we're not expecting. So make sure you check that out. And
it's called a teaser. And I just want everybody to know, guys, I love Josh and Gene. I get to see them every Sunday. We have a really good time, and I love my mama.
See you next week.
Bell rings. Crowd raw.
In a business built on secrets, some stories were never meant to be told. But now, they are. From Memphis wrestling icons, Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Tommy Wildfire Rich, comes the podcast that not only pulls back the curtain, it rips it down. Real stories. No filters. From wild road stories to the truth behind the headlines, this is the kind of locker room talk you won't hear anywhere else. Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich. New episodes weekly on YouTube, all podcast platforms, and early uncensored access on Patreon. Look us up on DougGilbertPodcast.com.
Every tale, every stitch, dangerous conversations, you don't change this.
Memphis wrestling changed in 1998, and now we're going back to relive it all. Gene Jackson, Rob Helt, and Brian Trammell are launching the brand new Retro Wrestling Review Power Pro Wrestling podcast, and they're watching and reviewing the entire run of TV5 Memphis Power Pro Wrestling from 1998 to 2001, every twist, every turn, every wild main event. From the debut episode to the final broadcast, they're reliving it all. New episodes drop on YouTube and all podcast platforms every Saturday morning, with early access exclusively on Patreon. And it all premieres Saturday, April 18th, 2026, exactly 28 years to the day Power Pro first hit TV5 in 1998. Power Pro is back. Well, sort of. Follow us over at facebook.com/retro wrestling review and follow along with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts as well.